Hi, I'm Megan Nielsen, and today I'm going to show you how to install jeans buttons and rivets, sometimes referred to as jeans hardware. The first thing that you're going to need to do is gather some tools. You'll need a hammer, an awl or something sharp like a nail to poke a hole through. You'll need a jeans button with shank, button nail, sometimes referred to as a screw, and of course jeans. Once you have all your tools and supplies gathered, go ahead and zip up or button up your jeans all the way so that the waistband is really nicely aligned. We're going to take our awl and we're going to poke it through the very left corner of your buttonhole. This is really important. Do not center your button on your buttonhole. It needs to be in the very left corner. You're going to push the awl through the buttonhole on the very left and through the back of the waistband. Once you've done this, you can remove the awl and unzip or unbutton your jeans so that you can access the hole. I like to hold it firmly to keep all of the fibers together. You're going to push your jeans nail or screw through the back towards the front. The jeans button nail should be in line with the zipper at this stage. If it is too far to the side, then you might need to poke your hole through again. Now grab your jeans button and place it on the nail. It won't be on securely now, you're just going to hold it there loosely. Flip the whole thing upside down and put the jeans button on a hard, solid surface like a wooden cutting board. You're going to grab your hammer and you're going to give it a few firm up and down hits with the hammer. Make sure you are going perfectly straight up and down. That'll prevent it from going on wonky. I know that this probably seems a little bit nerve-wracking, but you can definitely do it. It's a lot easier than you think it is. And don't be afraid to do a couple of tests on some scrap fabric before you go on to your final pair of jeans, just to give you that confidence that you can do it. And now that we've finished with our jeans button, we can move on to rivets. To install rivets, you'll once again need a hammer and an awl or something sharp like a nail. You'll need a pair of pliers or wire cutters, a hard metal surface to install them on. I like to use a rivet anvil, that's the perfect tool for the job, and of course the rivet burrs and posts. So much like for the jeans button, we will have to poke a hole through our fabric and push the post through. Posts for rivets are a little different. They're not like a screw, they're just straight and they can be quite long. So I find it really helpful to trim that post down to about 1 millimeter, maybe 2 millimeters past the fabric. Once you've done that, you can then grab your burr and place the burr on the post of the rivet. At this stage, mine tend to kind of clip on a little bit, but if it's loose, don't stress. You'll then place it down on your hard metal surface or your rivet anvil, and much like with the jeans button, you'll take a hammer and use some swift downward pounding motions to collapse the rivet post into the burr and secure them together. I highly recommend practicing this on a scrap piece of fabric like I'm doing before you install them on your final pair of jeans. Please make sure that you always install rivets with a hard metal surface behind them. If you use something like wood or a countertop, it will go through and damage them. Don't ask me how I know. So let's have a look at where we're going to actually install our rivets. Rivets are traditionally installed in positions of stress on your jeans to help them last a bit longer. This tends to be at the outside corners of pockets. You can also optionally put rivets on the inside corner of your back pocket and the top edge of your front pockets. I like to do that for aesthetic reasons, but you don't actually have to have rivets there. Okay, now for the fun part, starting with the outside corner of the back pocket, you'll poke your awl through. I like to center it on my top stitching. Once you have gotten your awl all the way through, you're going to pull it out and grab one of your rivet posts. We're going to stick that through the back or the inside of the jeans through to the front of the jeans. Now you'll see what I'm talking about with the rivet post sticking out a little bit much. We're going to trim that back, as I mentioned previously, to 1 millimeter or 2 millimeters past the fabric. Please do not trim it flush with the fabric, otherwise you will not be able to install your burr. Now we're going to stick that burr on and flip the whole thing upside down. I've grabbed a rivet anvil. I'm placing the burr on the rivet anvil. Now I'm going to spend a little bit of time just neatening everything up and making sure it's all flat and I can get a clear view of the post. Grab your hammer and give it some swift downward pounding motions to collapse that post into the burr and secure them together. I think that looks pretty good. The next place that I'm going to install a rivet is the inside edge of the back pocket. As I mentioned previously, the inside edges of pockets are not traditionally positions where a rivet would be placed. However, I like to do it for aesthetic reasons. It's really up to you whether you put these in or not. If you choose to omit them, that's just a few less rivets that you have to install. So once again, I am trimming that post back a little bit, grabbing a burr and placing it on that cut edge of the rivet post, flipping the whole thing upside down and placing it on a hard metal work surface like a rivet anvil, and hitting it with the hammer with a few downward pounding motions to secure everything together. So now that we've installed our first two rivets, I'm going to go ahead and install the rest of the rivets on these jeans at a slightly faster pace, but just so that you can see that repetition of how to put them all together. I'd also like to mention that I have been using solid rivet posts in this tutorial, but if you are using a hollow post, then you won't need to trim back the length of these as they collapse into the rivet burr more easily. They aren't my personal preference as I find them harder to control with this manual method of installation, but they're a perfectly legitimate post to use for your rivets. If you don't particularly like the hammer method that I've shared today, you can also buy handheld pliers that are specifically made for installing rivets, snaps and eyelets. I'll link to them in the description, or if you have access to an industrial press, that's obviously a great option. Now that we're moving to the front of the jeans, I just wanted to mention again that the traditional positions for rivet placement are the outside edges of pockets, but I also like to add rivets to the top corners of my pockets as well, just for aesthetic reasons. You can find the handy rivet tool that I'm using in my online store for a few dollars, and I highly recommend it as an ideal tool for the job. One side is flat to sit on your surface, and the installation side is concave to help secure the posts properly and provide them with the ideal end shape. If you'd prefer not to buy one, you can always use a hard metal surface like a piece of scrap metal or the back of a cast iron pan. You can also find jeans making kits on my website that include all the supplies you need to install jeans buttons and rivets. Our kits come in a range of colours and are available for zip fly or button fly jeans. Being able to practice before you install your hardware on your jeans is crucial, so I've made sure to include extra buttons, nails, rivets and posts in all our kits to allow you to do that. And we also have fun things like jeans leather patches that put that really cute final touch on your jeans. I really hope that you found this video helpful. I've included links to all the tools used in this video below, and if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments.